So just take some time just to be still and feel like what is present for you right now. How are you feeling? You know, there's no right or wrong way to be feeling, but what's there? Some breaths, some deliberate breaths, always a nice way to begin practice. And then we have our foundation. And look, there's so many of you that are here this morning in the live stream that are very experienced practitioners of Qigong, that have been practicing with me for years and years. And some of you have done, many of you actually have done teacher training. So you're very familiar with why it is that we stand like this and what this is all about. See if you can recall, if you have done those studies, what are the foundations of this standing? What is the basis for this standing? You notice how I'm making some sort of slight adjustments here, right? So I'm feeling my physical body and I'm really connecting my feet, and I'm making these kind of little adjustments that are all to do with what we call sung. Some of you will remember that term. Once you're feeling nice and grounded, open your chi gates 3 times. Nice and slow and deliberate. Each one is its own, right? So even though we do 3, we're not joining them together. It's not one move, it's 3 individual movements. So this symbolizes us coming into our practice, you know, setting this time or opening this time for practice. But there's also some connections here with the movement of chi in the body, right? The way that the chi moves in the body with opening and closing. Once you've done a little opening and closing practice, you're going to start to pulse the leg gates. You're going to bend your knees and use your hands, extending your fingers to tap spleen. Oh, I think it's spleen 14 is one of the main points around this region. But this region is known as the Qua. We want this region of our legs and our pelvic hip area to be very active as we're standing. It's going to help us to ground, right? So a little tapping practice here, little pulsing and tapping. Maybe you take a couple of cleansing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more tap, and then just take your hands to connect them to the earth. So I'm down nice and low near this region that I've just been tapping. My fingers are elongated, they're spread a little bit apart, my palms are really open. I'm fixing my gaze here, and I'm going to start lifting each leg. So my weight is going to shift. I'm going to lift and I'm going to tap the knees. You don't have to come back to connecting earth each time like I'm doing right now, right? You're just going to start, as I am demonstrating, to lift each leg and clap your knee, but below actually. More think of it as the upper, outer shin region, right? Stomach 36 is the point on the outside. We're also connecting with some liver point, the liver meridian through the inside of the legs, right? The more inner aspect. If your balance is a little bit compromised, it's okay. And just go with it. One more for each side. We're not in a hurry. We're going to bring our hands one on top of the other, close but not touching, palms facing, right down low near the lower dantian. We're going to bend one knee, and the arm on that same side is on the top. So I'm going on the right side, on my right side, and I'm scooping, well, I'm not scooping, what's the right word? I'm smoothing. I'm smoothing forward with the top hand as I bend the knee on the same side to shift my body weight. And as you can see, I've just started a rhythm of bending and leaning and sending the arm forward and then back on the underneath as it comes back. It's a bit trickier, this one. It's called the liver yin exercise. Not a very exciting name. And as I said, it can be a bit tricky. So just slow it down is usually a way to find the right flow and the right sort of coordination. And then you can kind of get a little bit quicker. Usually this one is a little bit quicker. Take a few breaths. One more time on each side. Just take a moment to feel the chi between the hands. Take your arms behind your back now. So you've got a couple options. Most of you know them. Palms together, down low at the tailbone, or holding lightly the elbows or the forearms, or even just this resting position with the hands in the sacral region. You choose. And then I want you to focus on your neck this morning. So slide your shoulders down or guide your shoulders down and then take your ear over on one side. Let it rest there. Don't do anything else except for breathing. And then tilt chin to chest, look down, and then ear back to the shoulder, and then tilt the head back and look up. Neck rolls or neck circles. Find a little rhythm. If you're very tight through the neck region and the trapezius, just do less, right? A little tilting is perhaps all you're doing. This is an area of the neck and the shoulders, the upper chest, the upper back, where many, many people have so much stagnant energy and tension. Tension is the opposite of what we want if we're wanting our chi to flow freely. Next time your chin comes to your chest, pause, look down, feel the back of your neck, and at the same time guide your shoulders down, and then go to the other side, ear to shoulder, and begin your rolls or your tilts. Couple more times for this side. The next time chin comes to chest, pause, look down. Guide both shoulders down, release your arms, and then slowly lift your head to neutral position. Place your hands onto your thighs now. The wave. Chin forward, collarbones forward, down, tuck, and roll up. Hands gliding lightly up and down the thighs. This form is nearly always in my practice these days. I used to dislike this immensely when I first was taught this form, but now it is a mainstay. It really helps to move the chi up and down the spine and up from the lower dantian towards the upper dantian and all through the torso. If you're familiar with the microcosmic orbit, it's a great preparation for that. Do a couple more. Next time you wind up, again, just a little brief pause. The hands will be at the top of the thighs. Head back to neutral. Take yourself into horse stance, stepping out, wiggling around, placing the hands softly onto the thighs, and then shifting your weight to one leg, moving your head and your chin out, reaching your head as far as you can, and then slowly gliding across to the other side. Move your body like a river. No heaviness in the hands. Keep yourself lifted, your chest lifted, your chest forward as you glide from side to side. Hips take you over to the other side, then your shoulders follow your neck and your head. I used to put this form into the teacher training. Some of you would have done the teacher training when it had this form in it, but it was always a bit of a struggle, right? Particularly for people that are really quite new to Qigong. There's Edward. So I took it out of it's not in the most recent or the most current teacher training, just for that reason. It's a bit tricky, this one. The name tells you what to do. Move your body like a river. One more time to each side. Back to neutral. Tuck your chin to your chest and wind yourself up. Take your arms out to the sides and over your head now. Take a big, big stretch. Push both feet down. And then a second forward fold in this horse stance. So a different sensation is likely. A different experience in your body is likely. Rub. Come halfway or all the way, it's up to you. Touch your feet if you're getting down that low. And I like to really, with this one, just place my hands on the floor, if you can get down that low, and allow your arms to kind of draw you a little bit forward through your weight, and then make sure you release your head. Take a few breaths. Take a few breaths, and in my case, because Eddie is very demanding this morning, pat your cat. When you're ready, you'll unwind yourself. Bend your knees. Once you're upright, step yourself in, dodge your animals, and then soften into basic standing and take a few breaths. Close your eyes even. Can you feel your chi moving through your body more freely? Draw your hands up and cross them over in front of your chest again with your palms in. And then the first part of this form will be turning the palms over. And then the arm that's on the inside is going to move down and the other arm up. They'll form a diagonal line, and you've turned your gaze and your head to look at the bottom arm. Then you're going to cross over again with the opposite hand on the inside. Turn palms first and take it to the other side. Just soft and smooth with this one, no stretching. See if you can discover the difference between stretching and extending. You can start to remove the pause from in between each one. Just arrive there and then go to the other side. I'm not turning my body, right? I'm just turning my head, my neck, and my arms are coming onto an angle, but my hips are still facing forward. This is called the Dao Yin twist flow. Keep going. I'll let you know verbally, audibly, when we're going to change. So I really recommend for you to just find your flow with this. You don't have to be in time with me. You don't need to be even looking at me, right? And as we move deeper into the practice for this morning, that will be the case with every form that we do. Rather than copying and looking and you know, well, I can't think of another word, but copying exactly what I'm doing, you're finding your flow. So much more powerful in terms of Qigong. Do one more on each side and we shall change to our next form. Turning the wheel of light is where we're headed. We'll come back to the crossed over arms, come in front of the Dantian. Have the elbows away from your body and your hands quite close. Close down your eyes or soften the gaze and feel the space between your hands. What's there? Turn the hands so one is on top and one is underneath now. Whichever hand is on top, that hand is going to move forward directly out in front. When it's around the level of your throat, it will turn over, palm up. That's what the top hand's doing. The bottom hand, it's going to come from underneath out to the side on an angle, and all of the fingertips are going to touch together as if you were holding the end of a banana. That's what the bottom hand will do. So they're going to happen together. Top hand forward and turn. Bottom hand to the side, pick the banana. Now this hand that's out behind you is going to move over the top and forward as the other hand comes underneath to the other side to pick the banana. And we start to cycle from side to side. This one is tricky. Some of you will know this. It comes from the 5 harmonies flow. Little bit tricky though to get going. Take your time. Monkey picks fruit. You're looking towards the fruit, all right? The back hand. As you look towards the back hand, we need to feel what's happening with the arm that's coming out in front. Feel and sense. Everything is soft in terms of the joints of the body. Hopefully, you've been able to find a rhythm, a gentle rhythm. Let's do one more repetition for each side. Come back to the ball. One hand on top, one hand underneath. Just feel elbows away from the body. Feel between the hands. Take a breath or two. And then just the top hand, I want you to float it up towards your heart, like your ball has become quite large. Then slowly press it back down to the smaller ball down at the lower dantian. Do that a couple of times. Up, just with the top hand, and press back down. As you do this, what can you feel inside your torso? Anything? I think Eddie's having a little choking incident behind me. Hopefully he's not doing anything else disgusting. When you come back down the next time, you're going to separate your hands and bring your palms to face in at the lower ribs. Have the elbows up and have this angle on your forearms like I do. Extend all of your fingers and separate them a little bit. And then get really close but not touching your body. And take a few breaths. Release your arms. Step your feet to bamboo in the wind. Sending the silk scarf through the body to close, exactly as we normally would. The difference is we're standing in bamboo in the wind. Otherwise, everything else is the same. Closing your field. If you're familiar with Qi development technique and theory, you're descending the Qi here. Once you've closed, you'll cover your dantian, you'll soften your knees, you'll lift the crown of your head, take a couple of breaths.